In this video, I'm going to be talking about my culture shock experiences from going from the United States and moving all the way to Sweden.
Previously on Ready to Die.
Charleston Chew, an underrated candy bar. This is a Charleston classic, Towson against Xavier. Juwan Gray from Towson.
Over 100%.
For what?
What's going on, everybody? It's the real one back at it again with another video. So recently, I just made a video that has my channel going crazy right now. And like when I mean crazy, it's crazy. The amount of traffic that I got towards this video is insane. I've never seen anything like it. Just this video alone, it allowed me to meet the requirements for my watch hours, which is 4,000, meet the subscriber count, which is the 1,000, and ultimately it allowed me to become a part of the YouTube partner program. So now I work for YouTube, which is pretty cool. And currently this video has well over 380,000 views and counting. And if you don't know which video I'm referring to my reverse culture shock from Sweden back to living in the United States. So I've actually been getting a lot of interaction and feedback from this video, but I never made a video from my initial reactions from going from the United States to Sweden. The first thing that really surprised me when I got to Sweden was that Swedes speak extremely great English. And I'm not saying this in like a disrespectful type manner. I was under the impression that Swedish people weren't speaking English. I'm gonna tell y'all a real quick story. When I first found out I was going to Sweden, that was in June 2022. Once I figured out I was going to Sweden, I'm like, yo, this is dope. I'm about to learn another language. I downloaded this app called Duolingo, and I've been learning Swedish ever since. So the rest of the months of June, July, and August, I was practicing my Swedish. I arrived in Sweden. One of my coaches picked me and Naya up, and he took us to our house. I met a few teammates. I met the coach, but I didn't really get a chance to talk to the people in the community like that. So the second day we got there, me and Naya, we went to this restaurant for breakfast, and I'm like, yo, this is my time. Like, I've been studying Swedish for 3 months, and this is finally the time where I'm gonna be able to have a conversation with somebody in Swedish. I wasn't able to speak the language fluently, but I could say a few words so that I can navigate around this country. We got to the breakfast spot, sit down, the waitress, she comes up to take our order. So I'm all confident, I got a smile on my face, I'm getting ready in my chair. The waitress comes up to us, and I'm like, har du frukost? And if you don't know Swedish, that means, do you have breakfast? I'm proud of this time. And she replies back to me. Y'all know what she says? She says, oh, you want breakfast? If y'all would have saw the defeat on my face, I'm like, yo, y'all can't be serious right now. I spent 3 months learning this language, and you know English? I'm trying to adapt to your culture, but you already know English. So I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And ever since that moment, I stopped really learning Swedish to become fluent in it, but I still learned a few words here and there and a few phrases. The second thing that shocked me once I arrived in Sweden is Snus. This is something I've never seen before. I haven't heard about it in the States. Snus is a little packet that's probably about like this big, right? And you stick it up in your lip and it gives you like a little buzz or a high. It is super common in Sweden. Like I've known people, I've had teammates who use Snus, and like I asked them, I'm like, yo, what does Snus do for you? Because I haven't tried and I'm not gonna try it, but I'm not judging them. I'm just asking them because I really want to know. And they're like, at this point, I've been doing it for so long that it doesn't really give me a buzz anymore. It's more so just like a habit. I've had some people tell me that it was hard for them to quit and that they couldn't quit because they were so like addicted to using Snus, but
Stop it. Get some help.
it's actually more common than people smoking cigarettes. Like, those were just my observations, but if you have been to Sweden or any other countries within Europe, just let me know down in the comments. And the third thing that really shocked me once I arrived in Sweden was that the country was squeaky clean. So I've been to other cities that were in Sweden. So I lived in Köping, but I've been to Norrköping, I've been to Luleå, Umeå, Stockholm, which is the biggest city in Sweden. I've been to Kalmar and many other cities in the entire country. The commonality between all of these cities is that they were extremely clean. Like I didn't see a lot of trash like on the side of the road. I didn't see people littering from my perspective and what I observed. Swedes, they want the country to be clean. And since we're on this topic, another thing that I noticed while living in Sweden is that there aren't that many homeless people. Like the only time I saw a homeless person was in the city of Stockholm. And I've been there like 4 or 5 times. And I can count one homeless person the entire 8 months I was in Sweden. They were in Stockholm. That really surprised me because in America, there's a problem with homelessness. There's a lot of homeless people in like the major cities, San Diego or New York, and even in my small little state of Delaware. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the shift between the sunlight and the darkness. So when I arrived in Sweden, it was in August. That was past midsummer, and midsummer, that's a time period in the Nordic regions where the sunlight is out for an extended period of time, longer than usual. I know the sun is out for at least 18 hours throughout the 24-hour period in a day. The time where I was there in August, the sun would rise at about 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning, and it'd be mad bright outside. And also the sun would set around like 9 p.m. at night. So that entire time period, it's sunny. But also on the flip side, the darkness is real. There's a thing in Sweden and also in other Nordic regions that's called seasonal depression. I myself, I didn't experience seasonal depression because, I enjoyed my time out there in Sweden. I made sure I got a chance to go outside when it was still sunny. But that's basically a time where people are depressed because they don't get a chance to see the sunlight that often. So there was a time period where I actually traveled to Luleå. Mind you, I played professional basketball. I played last year in Sweden. And we traveled to Luleå. Luleå is one of the cities that is far up north in Sweden. Shopping's down here. Luleå is up north, super far up high. Mind you, this is prime time winter. We traveled to Luleå to play a game. We're up there for like 2 days. So we had a full day of exploration. And we get up there, no lie, 12:30 in the afternoon to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun's setting, and by 1:30 it's super dark outside. And that is crazy to me. So next, my fellow Swedish people, if you're watching this, I guarantee you're gonna laugh at me. So the next culture shock that caught me off guard was Fika. Prior to going to Sweden, I've never heard of Fika, but after leaving Sweden, I love Fika. For y'all who don't know, Fika is a time where you get to kick back, relax, eat on some snacks, drink some tea or some coffee, and socialize with a friend. It's actually mandatory that workplaces allow Fika 2 times per day for I think up to like 30 minutes. And Fika is amazing. Like I miss the Fika in Sweden. The snacks that were provided were incredible. Like they had these cinnamon rolls that were mad tasty. I don't even remember what they're called. I think they're like chocolade. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't have a Swedish accent, but I believe it's like chocolate. But it's amazing though. It kind of tastes like coffee, but it's chocolate and there's coconut sprinkled on top of it. It's one of the greatest snacks I've ever had in my life. Whatever it is, it's amazing. I love it. They also usually celebrate Fika with tea and coffee. Tea, I actually started drinking while I was in Sweden. I never drank it when I was in the United States for some reason, but over the course of my time out there in Sweden, I tried a variety of teas and I really enjoy it. But for the coffee, I can't do it. Like they love coffee in Sweden. I tried every single recipe that you can do. I tried the coffee with milk. I tried coffee with milk and you also add sugar to it. I tried a variety of different combinations to drinking coffee. It's my personal preference. I do not like it. So if you're a Swede watching this video, please don't shun me. But coffee, that's a no-go for me. I wish I could bring Fika to the United States, but workplaces ain't going for that. Giving us 2 breaks in the day to enjoy it. No, we're not doing that. But another thing that I noticed that during my time there in Sweden is that it's like a cashless society. So the United States is starting to become more digital in terms of like our payments and sending money to people. Even though I live in the States now, but I don't really use my cash that often. Everything is through like debit or credit cards and through Zelle, Venmo, or whatever. I know in Sweden, they're more so of a cashless society. So, you pay with things through, your Apple Pay, your debit card, but rarely would you ever go somewhere and just hand them cash. I guess after the pandemic, a lot of the places just really started to accept debit or credit cards. So also going along with cash, Swish is extremely popular in Sweden. It's like the United States version of Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay. It's literally just like that, where you can pay for products, services, owe somebody money, you use Swish. So the next thing that I noticed about Sweden once I was there was that stores close early on the weekends. I'm not too fond of this. Maybe it's my American side showing, but I prefer how it is here in my native country, America, compared to how it is in Sweden. But I'm sure like in the major cities like Stockholm or Gothenburg, there are different locations that stay open a little bit later since they're highly populated areas. But I know for my city and a few others as well, stores close early on the weekends. Just for example, right? On the weekends, the liquor store closed at 3 p.m. So if you don't purchase your liquor on Saturday at 3 p.m., you're gonna have to wait until Monday because the liquor store is closed on Sundays. There's only one place where you can buy liquor in Sweden, and that's a place called Systembolaget. So there's a monopoly going on in Sweden. So a lot of different stores, their hours vary on the weekends, but once Saturday and Sunday comes around, the hours are shortened. So that gives them more time to spend with, family, friends, loved ones, and just gives them time to do whatever they want to do. The last thing that I thought was pretty cool while being in Sweden is when I was going to the grocery stores in Sweden, I would go to the Ica Maxi or the Hem Shop. Like they would have these recycle machines where you're able to take bottles and cans that you've used at your house, and you would actually be able to, recycle the cans in the grocery store, and they would give you a receipt so that you can apply that discount towards your groceries. And I thought that was pretty cool because I've never seen that in the United States. Like we have places where you can go and distribute your bottles in return for money, but I've never seen that in a grocery store in the United States. I just thought that was a cool feature you can have because, you take your bottles and recycle them at the grocery store and they just give you a credit for your groceries. Instead of paying $100, you can pay $95, and it may not seem like a big difference, but something is better than anything. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that was like my initial reaction of the environment around me in Sweden, like some of the culture shocks that I experienced. And just for the record, like I loved my time there in Sweden. I've met some great people, some great friends, and I'm looking forward to visiting again, preferably in the summertime when it's hot and there's a lot of things to do, because I already experienced it in the wintertime. So I want to be able to go out there for midsummer one of these years. Maybe I'll go, maybe not, we will see, but I'm gonna try to make it happen. Thank y'all for watching this video. It's the Real Juan here. I'm out of here. Until next time, peace.